Hello, this is Mr. Inadequate playing Suzerain. This is episode 4. This game has a subtle fascination for me because I'd like to see how quickly the impeachment forms. So let's go. Do I have anything but that? No. Last episode. What's this? Congratulations from Prime Minister Alvarez. He congratulated me for the results and spoke about his hopes for a beneficial partnership deal in the future. He sends his best wishes to the Swedish people and warned us about the threats of the encroaching Malinifist influence of United Cantana from the East, emphasizing the importance of unity in our continent, Mercopa. Okay, that's probably been sitting there for a while. Let me just. Yeah, here's one from Magnolia. That was a current. Congratulations. He wants equal trade partnership. These are the communists. He wants trade deals and warned us about Arcasia's growing influence. Okay, now is there anybody else? Just, I am learning that, these people down here. Okay. He's from Wayland and he wants normalization of diplomacy. Anybody else? Okay, so now to our internal politics. We approved the HK3, I believe it's called, highway. Yeah, there it is, right there. Yeah. Okay, so we're building that. I'm hoping it will signal to the Agnolians that we are looking for normalization and more trade. Now, okay, reception at the inaugural ball. I had just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The Presidential Guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade-old tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there would be no turning back. Suddenly, Deanna hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elaborate braid woven through with ribbons. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Okay. Hello, darling, I'm ready. Where's your brother? I think Frank is still upstairs, says Dina. She shrugged. It's almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. Okay, darling Frank, it's time. Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into a chignon, showing off the pearl earrings I had given her for our 15th anniversary. All those years she had stayed by my side. Now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. Monica, how do you do, Mr. President? Kiss her hand. She extended a gloved hand and I raised it to my lips. Now, where the hell is Frank? Frank! Frank rushed down the stairs. I'm here, I'm here. He tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. Are you good to go, Frank? Yes, the sooner we go, the sooner it'll be over, right? Deanna, Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? She pointed at the presidential guards at the door of the house. Now, unfortunately, yes, they can't leave our side until my term ends. You'll get used to it. Monica, it's all right, baby. They're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Monica held Deanna's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Frank, Dad, do I really have to go? Couldn't I stay home instead? Okay. I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. It's a party thrown for me. Don't you want to support your father? You'll love it, son. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pretty girls to dance with. Or don't make me angry, Frank. I'm going to go with number one. I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. Frank smiled reluctantly. Well, when you put it like that, sure, let's go. Presidential guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Serge, my driver, ushered us into our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window deep in thought. I just noticed that there's a lot of news to do. Okay, I'm still very new to this game. Monica, Anton, what are you thinking about? I can go with nothing nice cars in it. With all that's been happening, I'm wondering if I made the right choice. I was thinking we've come a long way together, haven't we? Monica, yes, we have, and there's still so much that we'll accomplish, side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be here for you. Dana, I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Frank rolled his eyes. Monica, I know you will, honey. Okay, well, see, darling, this means a great deal to me. Let's just enjoy the night. Stay silent. I'm going to go with let's just enjoy the night. After what seemed like just a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Serge rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. We are here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. Okay. I did, Serge. Thank you. Always a pleasure to hear that. Serge opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Swordland elite, streamed inside the building. Serge Walkner, good luck out there, Mr. President. I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. My guards fended off most of them, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Swedish Broadcasting Company logo on her press lanyard. Mr. President! Mr. President! Do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? Okay, my administration will bring real change. I'm not going to say that. This night is for celebration. I'm not going to talk about my policies now. That's possible. If the opposition is willing to support us, we are going to work with everyone. I'm going to go with two. The night is for celebration. I'm not going to talk about my policies now. Does that mean you don't plan on working together? Do you think you share no common ground with the other parties? I did not say that. One more question. One of your first acts as president was to sign a campaign finance law allocating public election funds by seats in the assembly as opposed to number of votes. Is this a deliberate attempt to defund the Communist Party and the Bloody Workers' Party? Neither have reached the election threshold. Okay, I've had it with your question. Guards! 2, my motivations are not for you to know. 3, perhaps it was. If left unchecked, those two parties will only make trouble for me. 4, it's to ensure the USP has the funds we need to stay in power long enough to truly bring democracy to this country. That's enough, ma'am, said one of my guards while nudging the reporter away from me. A path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Sutherland's colors of white, yellow, and maroon. A lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. Peter Vectern. There they are, the most beautiful family in Sordland. Uncle Peter, said Deanna. Frank. Hi, Uncle Peter. It's good to see you. Peter Vectern. You two are going faster than I'm getting wiser. I'm going to go with your sight for sore eyes, Peter. Likewise, said Peter. Monica, happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn. Peter's wife, Evelyn, approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Evelyn, congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Okay. Okay, 2. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. We know you did. You deserve the position. Peter, and tonight we reap the rewards. Okay, I hope you will show the same enthusiasm. Exactly, that's why we're here. We could start by getting some drinks. Yes, I definitely need a celebration after that. I'm going to go with 4. Actually, I think this would be a good one, but I don't, at this point, want to sow the seeds of problems with Peter. So I'm going to say, yes, I definitely need a celebration after all that. Peter, I know you do. Monica, how are you, said Evelyn. You barely said a word. Monica, I'm more than relieved to have this roller coaster ride over with. But of course, now the real work begins. Evelyn, I asked, managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon to look your best for foreign dignitaries. Monica, don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Sordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue. Wouldn't you say, Anton? Oh, boy. 1, yeah, I'm not going to go with 1. 2, up to a point, yes. I'm going to go with 4. That's my wife, never content to be just a pretty face. Politics, never agree to anything. Okay. Monica flashed me a smile. Deanna suddenly jumped in between us and tugged on my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. Okay, I can go with, we are having a conversation here, Deanna. 2, yes, it's time, let's go. Of course, darling. Yes, it's time, let's go. We moved to the ballroom. We left the lobby and made our ways towards the ballroom. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd. But this time, it was the politicians who sought to appease the new authority in Sordland. I spent the next few hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at our dinner table with the Vecterns as the band started playing some slow jazz tunes. Peter, oof, that was tiring. Okay, we have to get used to it. What, you're already tired? Another drink? If I have to shake another hand, I'm going to go with 1. We have to get used to it. Peter, well, Suddenly a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom. Then another one, then another. Uh-oh. The musicians stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both our faces. Peter, fireworks? Peter, no, gunshots! As soon as Monica heard the words, she lunged from her seat. Shield Monica and the kids. I throw myself on Monica, Dana, and Frank to shield them. Deanna, Papa, what's happening? Frank, I knew it. We should never have gone. Chaos broke out as some guests flung themselves under their tables and others ran towards the door screaming. Deanna burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Carl Gracer, Mr. President, are you all right? Carl Gracer, head of the Swedish police force, was running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as he made it to us and saw we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Carl Gracer, thank God. Okay, what the hell is going on? Status report, check the perimeter. Status report. Carl Gracer, 1 second, Mr. President. He turned around quickly to his men. Carl Gracer, check the perimeter now. Carl Gracer, Paul, Jansen, follow my lead. We'll bring them to the safe room. He now turned to Monica, Evelyn, and the children and spoke in a softer voice. Do not worry. The situation is under control. Please follow me. Excuse my coughing. Allergies, smoking, all sorts of things. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. His men still had their guns drawn, which did nothing to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. Peter, what a fucking night. Okay, we're going to say, shh, not now, Peter. Carl turned to us with serious faces who were about to round a corner. Carl, quiet, please. Peter, sorry, I talk when I get nervous. Evelyn, Peter, shut up. Carl flipped on a switch on the wall and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on. The safe room was comfortable and spacious with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. Now I can say, so what's the status? Not the best inauguration ball? Are we under attack? So tell me, Carl, do I have clowns for security for us? So what's the status? Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Carl Gracer, good news. We are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. Carl Gracer, if I may, sir. He motioned towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. Carl Gracer, this is what we know so far. We have confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reasons to believe he was working alone. Carl Gracer, he fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Circus. This is huge, Anton, says Peter. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be all right. Monica was still trying to tend to Deanna as Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed at home. Comfort Monica and the kids. I sit down beside my wife and children. We're safe. I'll make sure everything's going to be fine. Monarch, we can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe. At all costs. Uh-oh. I crushed the cigarette on the ashtray. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay. Report. Read the report from Hulser. Security increased. Security increased. Security measures at the Capitol have been heightened after the murder of Bernard Circus. The mayor of Hulser reports that everything is under control. Security around the Maroon Palace has been increased with the combined efforts of the Hulser Police Department and the Presidential Guard. Additionally, the entrance procedures to the palace are being revised with advice from security professionals. The police chief, Carl Gresser, reported that an investigation was launched on the murder of Bernard Circus. Emergency meeting, Situation Room, Maroon Palace. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. My cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Lilius presented the initial report. Lilius, Bernard Circus was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of Assembly and, as you know, a famous communist. It could be trouble. She spat the last word out with some distaste. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as the member of the nationalist organization Young Swords. The president and his family were unharmed, praise God. Okay, 1. An MP shot near the palace? That is absolutely unacceptable. 2. What were the motivations of such a horrid act? 3. But why Bernard Circus? 4. So I wasn't the target? I'm going to go with 1. An MP shot near the palace? That is absolutely unacceptable. Because I don't care who he was an MP. I agree. We are reevaluating our security measures. However, the recession has affected my ministry negatively. Okay, Lilas. Lucien Galad. This sets a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence in the 1920s might spark once again. Peter, a return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. Nia Morgna, the Minister of Justice, sighed. The Red Youth has condemned the killing, but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. Nia continues. This will in turn spark further aggression from the Young Swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Circus expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Nia, freedom of expression is part of our Constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. Okay, 1, I fully agree we should protect freedom of speech. 2, the Malinifist ideology that the Red Youth promotes poses threats to our country too. We should be cautious. 3, the National Young Swords overstepped and they should be put under the loop for such extreme action. 1, I fully agree we should protect freedom of speech. Nia, our laws do and for good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before and know very well how it was. I hear your concerns, Leah said. Our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are reevaluated. Minister of Defense, Josef Lancia, grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Agreed, ma'am. Okay, I'm going to butcher this word. Our gender moray will also help boost I can't pronounce that word, I'm sorry. Will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more to come. Lucian, we should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. It will only add fuel to the fire. 1. It is political, though, isn't it? 2. You're right. We need to calm the situation. 3. It's early, but will we attend the funeral? 2. You're right. We need to calm the situation. Lucian, our government is capable to maintain security. Our job will be to reduce tensions. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace and everyone went silent. Yes. Regardless, a full investigation on all involved parties is underway. We'll find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I think she's kind of changed her tune a little bit. Wasn't she all for the people? Now she's, I don't know. Better. I will do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks. Nia, justice will be served and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Joseph, only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. Okay, 1. It is too soon to jump to conclusion. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. 2. I agree. Internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. 3. We should not lose sight of our real political goals like the constitutional reforms. I'm going to go with 2. I agree. Internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. Lucian, I'm sure the Minister of Interior has already taken the necessary precautions. Lilius, you may be assured that our police units and intelligence units are in increased threat condition. No one should be able to move a finger against government officials. Lucian took some notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. Oh yeah, I gotta check that. It seems that the tensions between the communists and nationals will escalate further. Nia, it will be very difficult to pass any meaningful changes if there is chaos in the country. We can't fix the recession if there isn't stability. Peter, you're right. We need to trust our ministers to stabilize the situation if it comes to it. Peter, that will be it for today then. We'll convene again soon. Thank you and keep us updated. The meeting concluded and the ministers left the room with concerned looks. It was hard to anticipate what would happen next. Okay. Okay. I'm going to look at these. Rain spoke of unity. These are probably old. Committee for Reforms. Electoral funding reform. Sordland today. Rain says bill was necessary for democracy. That's the campaign finance law. Rain not interested in cooperation. That's just false. Oh my God. MP shot, nation in shock. Okay. Lockhaven Times, murder at the palace. New assembly begins duty. Support for campaign finance bill. Radical. Another USP president. How many times will people fall for the same trap? Okay. Okay. Economics. Restructure the infrastructure. Read these, pause and read this if you want. I'm just scanning them because I should have been reading them to begin with. Okay, Rumberg is threatening us, I guess. At least they think so. Okay. Now, looking around. I don't see anything right yet. I am going to leave it here. This is Mr. Inadequate playing episode 4 of Suzerain. And we'll see how it turns out in the next episode. I will see you then.